This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smolkin Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and MM The nightly podcasts are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
You think you could tell us what to do? You think you could tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? You better get ready. Bow to the masters.
Yes, indeed. Break it down. That's right. You bow to the masters, and that's us here at WrestleTalk with me, Ralph Williams, Smolkin, Jim Frazier. Oh, what a show we had last week. We had Zach Rain on, who is an independent wrestler. And I got to tell you, it was great to have him on last week. But this week, we got a great guest coming on at 5:30 as well, and that is Dan Polinsky of the Pros of Wrestling. And he's going to talk about his upcoming event coming up in March, where it's in honor of Bruno Sammartino, March the 15th, Ross Community Center. Join us up there because I will be there, Smoking Jim, and myself and my wife will be with us as well. And we're going to be there. Sam Adonis will be there as well as Corey Graves, who happens to be Dan's son. And speaking of Corey Graves, Miss Smoking Jim and I are going to talk later on here after I'm done with the introduction here in regards to Corey Graves and what's going on with him. Didn't even show up at all on Tuesday for an NXT broadcast. He's supposed to be part of the new shuffle of broadcasters, which, again, WWE continues to do, which I think is wrong because you got some good guys out there. I personally didn't think Joe Testator was coming back. They ended up bringing him back, moving him to SmackDown with, Wade Barrett, and then brought back, again, I like Pat McAfee, brought him back too, but that pushes out Corey Graves. And I didn't appreciate that, how they pushed him out like that and demoted him to NXT. I think it was wrong. I think Paul Lefebvre, Triple H got this all wrong. I think, he needs to maybe reevaluate about his decision here with this because I think it's silly. And if there's a problem between the two of them, I think they need to sit down and talk about it. And I do know, and I'm going to ask Dan about this, that Corey Graves wanted to get back into the ring and wrestle again. I don't know if it's money purposes or whatever, but, we'll talk more about that with Dan coming up at 5:30. Smoking Jim, welcome to the program. It's great to have you once again.
Hey, thanks, Ralph, man. It's my most fun thing to do all week.
Other than stop at KFC and get chicken.
Oh, man. Yes, sir. Yes,
all right. You know it, man. Salute the Colonel for me when you get a chance. All right, we're live. This is our debut show today on the Huddle Sports Network, and we're live on the network, which is on Roku, Fire TV, and also on their Facebook page, as well as my Facebook page, YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, and Twitch and Twitter X platforms. And it's great, as always, to be here every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. All right, before we get started here, Dan's going to talk a little more about his event coming up. So we're not going to promote his event tonight. He'll be doing it himself. So, we do have some other events coming up, Smoking Jim. that we're going to promote here right now. We have the History of Violence, which is March 21st. It's a Friday. Chambers Hall Gym at the University of Pitt, Greensburg. Check it out. One of the guys we had on the show here, Gianni Enrico's going to be there. He is the new champ for 880 Wrestling. He is their heavyweight champ now. And I've been trying to get the owner of 880 Wrestling, MV Young, on here, but he don't return my phone calls and emails. So much for him. That's his loss, not mine. All right. And then Rise Wrestling on February 8th. There's a lot of wrestling going on, but I'm going to do the best. We're going to do the best we can here at WrestleTalk to promote everybody's events here. And if we missed one, please email me at ralphwilliams737@gmail.com. And also, if you're an independent wrestler and you want to be interviewed on the show here, you want to come on as a guest, please feel free to email me, ralphwilliams737@gmail.com. We'll be more than happy to interview you. The feature match, AJ Alexander versus the Lamar Rise Wrestling. They are at the Uniontown Mall. They call it the Stronghold now. 1360 Mall Run Drive in Uniontown. And then for the Rise Ascension Championship match, it'll be AJ Anderson versus the Lamar. Get tickets on risewrestling.com. All right, so there you go for that event. And let's see here. I think we have a few more that we can promote here, I believe. Yes, we do. Our friends up in Erie there who are putting a certain hotel out of business because they're not staying there. February 1st, they have an event coming up that's next Saturday, February 1st. The Erie All-Star Wrestling. They're at the new Saga Club on Washington Avenue in downtown Erie. Very nice place. I've seen it from the outside. I've never been on the inside. One of these days, I will catch up with the Erie wrestlers when I'm up in Erie. I go to Erie every year to fish and stay up there, and I'm working on getting a summer home up there and stay up there for the entire summer and work on that as well because I love it up in Erie. Erie is one of my favorite cities to be in, and they get a bad rap all the time, but you know what? Erie's a great place to be as well. Smolkin Jim will even contest to that. He goes up there once in a while. So, But, all right, Smolkin Jim, let's talk about this Corey Graves situation. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't have any thoughts. Only thing I know is what you told me.
All right, great. Well,
And,
I just
it's
want to know what you.
surprising,
It is.
But I will say this is that got to realize that whether you love him or you hate him, the network seems to love McAfee. He can do no wrong. He was off last night because he's doing college football games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's off for 4 or 5 months because he's doing football. You know, I mean, he just seems like he can do whatever he wants and come and go. I guess his ratings on his TV shows through the roof. He's just the hot ticket right now. So it's a shame that they bumped Corey. What were they going to do on NXT with the black guy that used to wrestle?
Oh, you mean Booker T? Yeah, because I'll tell you this much: them two don't get along. I remember when they worked together on the team. I read a story from Booker T. He actually said on his social media post that if he had to work with Corey Graves again, he was going to punch him in the mouth. That's how bad. Because Corey had this bad habit at one point. He used to insult Booker T, and then he used to insult Brian Saxton. And, so Brian Saxton had to get away from him. You notice he's in backstage now. Have you noticed that, Brian Saxton? So,
now that you mention it.
He's on SmackDown. He interviews in the back now. So, and that's because they can't get along with Corey Graves. Maybe that's probably what happened. Maybe it's the fact that WWE says, look, if you can't get along with people, we don't need you here. That could be what the problem is. I don't know. We're going to see if Dan will help us with this tonight and bring in some insight on this, or March the 15th, we can ask him ourselves because we're going to see him. We will be there at the Ross Community Center, March the 15th, for the dedication to Bruno Sammartino, brought to you by the Pros of Wrestling. Also, February 8th, and I'll have the banner for that next week down at the City Winery. They're having an event called Wrestle Rex. They do that every year. So I'm working on getting us something here for Smolkin Jim and I to go to that. February 8th, it's a Saturday. 7:00 p.m. bell time down at the City Winery in the Strip District. A big lineup. Sam Adonis, Dan Polinsky's son, will be down there. Great wrestler, brother of Corey Graves. And also, who will be down there is EC3 will make an appearance. So, Smoking Jim and I have seen EC3 before live at an independent event brought to you by the Allied Powers Wrestling Federation, who we sponsor here at WrestleTalk. And we're going to have Bubba come on in the next month or so because he has an event coming up in the spring. And I'll get the lowdown from him and have him come on here to promote his stuff as well. As you know, we always have independent wrestlers. I try to get a guest on every single week here on WrestleTalk. And now we're live on the Huddle Sports Network. And I want to thank everyone for viewing tonight here on the Huddle Sports Network. We're on Roku, Fire TV, and on their Facebook page as well, and all other outlets that have the Huddle Sports Network. Okay, Smoking Jim, let's talk real quick about TNA. I know one of your favorite wrestlers, Josh Alexander, is leaving the company. Where do you think he goes if he leaves TNA? Do you think he goes to AEW or WWE?
I have no idea. I can't even speculate. He's in pretty good shape still. Look like he's putting on a little bit more size, so I'm not sure.
Right. Well,
What do you think?
Well, I think he'll go to AEW and then work his way up to WWE. AEW's been recruiting AJ Curtis. You know who he is, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the old Top Dollar. Remember Top Dollar? Yeah, he's Top Dollar.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to AEW now. He left TNA. So, he's been able to work his way up here. I'm hearing Mustafa Ali is going to be in AEW. I hear that's coming up, and so on. And you got some guys. I think Josh Alexander, he's already been to NXT with this merger with TNA and WWE, which we'll talk about as well. They got this little partnership they're working out, and it's going to be great to see. Sad news, though, Nick Nemeth lost his title to Joe Hendry. I think you like Joe Hendry too, right? I think that's one of your favorites there.
Oh, yeah.
At TNA.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he beat Nick Nemeth at the Genesis pay-per-view on Sunday, and so now he is in he's the new TNA World Champion. And Nick Nemeth had it for a while, and for a few months, or I think he had it for a little bit of time. And all the champions won their belts back. The Hardys won their tag team belts back. Moose, he's the X Division champion. He won his belt back. The only one who lost, I think, was Rosemary. I think she lost her belt. But other than that, all the champs, except for Nick Nemeth and Rosemary, all won their belts back. So just to let everyone know, Genesis pay-per-view seemed like it was pretty good. I'm not paying for it. So, there we are with that one. But anyway, so that's TNA news. You have any thoughts on anything I had to say there, Smoking Jim, or anything you want to add?
No, I think you covered it really well.
All right. AEW, MJF is starting a feud with Jeff Jarrett. Double J, Jeff Jarrett, who is a Hall of Famer in the WWE, has been doing some stuff with a few guys in the in AEW, and now he's supposed to be fighting MJF coming up at their pay-per-view, which I believe is coming up this weekend. I think it's coming up this weekend. Is their pay-per-view. And this time, but it's not going to be a pay-per-view. It's going to be free. It's this Saturday. It is on at the time that they have their Saturday program on TBS or TNT. And it's going to be an interesting, pay-per-view there, or whatever pay-per-view type matches there, Smoking Jim. You got a lot of stuff going on. You got John Moxley. He's going to be putting his title up on the line. He put it up against Powerhouse Hobbs last Wednesday, and I thought on Dynamite, I thought that was a good match. Powerhouse Hobbs gave him a really good match, but Moxley came through again, and his group of guys there decided to interfere as they always do, and the Hurt Business the Hurt Syndicate was in action. Even MJ or even MVP even wrestled. So there you are with that one. But that's what I have to add with AEW. You have anything you want to add, Smoking Jim, with AEW?
Yeah, it was good to see MVP back wrestling again. I guess he put down the cane for a couple of minutes. But, hey, and MJF and going back and forth, man. He's just a funny guy. You know, I mean, these guys was getting down and dirty, talking about each other's families
Yeah, I know. It was like,
and
yeah,
wives. And,
he started.
yeah, I'm like,
MJF really he can get under your skin, man. I mean, he really can. But I enjoy him. I mean, whether he's a heel or a baby face, I enjoy the way his mic skills. I enjoy the way he puts everything together. So, but anyway,
yeah.
all right, hold on a minute here. I don't know what's going on with Dan here. I'm trying to give him the link here, and it's not going through. Wow. Jeez. That's bad. Yeah. Let me see what we can do here. Said he still didn't get the link. Oh, wow. That's terrible. All right, let's see what we got here. Dan, at one stout. There it is. Yeah. I got it right here. So, let me see what we got. All right, hold on a minute here. All right, there we are. All right. Let's get it in there. Wow, that's crazy. He didn't even get the invite yet. Hold on. Wow, that's a shame. Nope, I got it to him now. So he should be on the show here in any minute as soon as I get it to him here. Again, I don't know what's going on here. There we go. All right. All right, everyone. We're on the Huddle Sports Network, and we're also in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studio, 724-2010-500, Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Give them a call today. I got to tell you, they are really good at fixing air conditioners and everything else there as well. So, oh, wow. Okay, there we go. All right, no wonder. All right, hold on a minute. No wonder I was having some problems there. It's not going through because I punched in wrong. Now let me look and see what we got here. All right, okay, that's a capital. All right, but anyway, and also don't forget about sponsorship advertising, RW Media Productions. Call today at 412-545-4317, or you can call also at the there we go. Hold on, let me see if I got it now. All right, let's see. Okay, no wonder. It's a capital D, not a small D, Smoking Jim. There we are. That's why we couldn't get Dan on here. And we're also on the Huddle Sports Network. This is our debut. But if you need any sponsorship advertising, please feel free to give me a call at 412-545-4317. We'll be more than happy to accommodate you as well for it because of the we would be more than happy to accommodate you for some sponsorship advertising. We have what we have in sponsorship advertising is you will get 6 podcasts. You also will get 2 radio shows, and also you will get a oh man, jeez. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to get this working here, Smoking Jim, any minute here. Sorry about that, folks. Punched up the wrong information, and that's what happens when you do that. You end up getting burned. All right, there we go. I got to make sure this is right. You know how it is with these letters. That's why Smoking Jim likes to be on the phone. That way we don't have to worry about that stuff, Right, Smoking Jim? You there, Smoking Jim? You there, Smoking Jim? Oh, he must be involved in the bingo game.
Yeah, I'm still
okay.
here.
I thought you were involved in a bingo game. So, so hold on. I'm going to get this in here sooner or later here. Let's see. All right, now I got it. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sorry if you're just listening on the, if you're watching in on the Huddle or listening on the Huddle Sports Network here. on Roku and Apple TV and Fire TV, and also on their other platforms. I apologize for this. I had a little bit of an issue trying to get an invite in and didn't put the right proper things in there. And that's what happens when this sometimes. So, you know. All right. So there we go. All right. I think I got it in now for him. Getting them on here at 5:30. Will be Dan Polinsky. He'll be coming up in the next, let's see here, about 4 minutes. He'll be coming up here to talk with us about the Pros of Wrestling, which is the company that he owns. And he has a, he owns and then also if you need a DJ, 15 years of DJ experience, DJ fun for all parties and special events, 412-545-4317. He falls under the RW Media Productions umbrella and banner. So call DJ Fun today, or call and we'll get you to DJ Fun, 412-545-4317. Also, don't forget to go check out a Steel City Yellow Jackets game up here in the Allentown section of the city of Pittsburgh, right on Climax Street at the community center. YCYellowjackets.com. Check them out as well, or SCYellowjackets.com. Check out their website and get tickets. Very affordable tickets for some great basketball. The Steel City Yellow Jackets. Okay, Smolkin Jim, we have a few minutes. Dan Polinsky will be joining us. Your thoughts on last night's Raw and SmackDown last Friday?
I tell you, I get them mixed up a little bit. I think that I was surprised at the last match, man. McIntyre.
Oh, McIntyre and Seth Rollins. I tell you what, that was a WrestleMania match. That was a great match.
Yeah.
And one thing I'll give WWE credit for, they've been coming up with some great matches now on Raw because they're on Netflix. The only thing is they've been cutting it now to 2.5 hours instead of the 3-hour allotment they originally had planned. They didn't tell anybody. They just went ahead and did it last week, and now this is the second week in a row. They have only gone for 2 hours and 30 minutes or whatever.
Have you been watching it? Have you been watching it live, or you watch it
on the side? You mean?
Or do you go on? Or do you watch it live?
Well, I watched Netflix live. Last night I had some issues on my TV because I have Comcast cable and it's part of my cable system. So I paid.
So you went back and watched it?
I watched it last night live, but I had to watch it on my tablet because for some strange reason it wasn't on Comcast last night. I couldn't get it on. So I had to watch it on my tablet last night, which I didn't mind. And then my wife can watch it on hers as well. But I had to watch it on my tablet last night because I couldn't get it on my TV for some strange reason. Comcast was having issues with it, with Netflix. I don't know what happened.
Well, I tell you what, I was surprised to see. Bayley go down. I'm not surprised that she got who beat her, but I thought maybe they'd have Bayley. They get some winnable matches for Bayley to build up some momentum. I was surprised there.
Yeah, well, if I'm Rhea Ripley, I'd be careful because now, if you saw the early video, they showed walking into the arena, Rhea Ripley got jumped by Nia Jax.
Yeah.
And, so Nia's sending a message to Rhea that she's coming for her belt. And I think that's going to be a really good match right there. That's going to be a really good match. Rhea Ripley can show us if she can really beat the best of them and, and go from there. But, and I think
she got to stay away from injury.
Yeah.
She got to stay away from injuries.
Yeah, exactly. She has a bad habit of getting injured a lot. And, it's the way she wrestles, so, and sometimes she gets involved in things that maybe she shouldn't or gets in the middle of something. And that's probably what happens. But, we're going to see what happens with Liv Morgan. Where is she going to go? What's she going to do? Would she go after the other championship, the Intercontinental belt now that the women have? Or is she going to stay in the championship swing of things? I'm hearing rumors that Raquel Rodriguez is going to stab her in the back. I don't know if that's true. I keep hearing stories about the Judgment Day breaking up. We don't see that happening. But last night...
What's going on with Solo?
Well, the story I'm getting at is I hear Solo's going to go with Roman Reigns. He's going to go back into his bloodline after he acknowledges him as the tribal chief. I hear he's going to go back. But that's if Roman will take him. I mean, Roman should be stupid, should be stupid to take him, because if he does, he's going to do the same thing to him again. Steal his, the mafala or whatever they call that thing. You know what I mean? And what's going to happen is he's going to end up stealing it again and become tribal chief if Reigns loses a match or something.
Well, I don't know. It looked like last night that maybe the crazy dude wants to be tribal chief now.
That's another story. Yeah, I'm hearing Jacob Fatu and Tonga look like they're they're on their own right now. It look Solo Sikoa come out of SmackDown, walked around the ring, didn't do anything, didn't say anything. I think he tried to talk and he got booed out. And so we're going to find out what happens with that. That's an interesting storyline there. My next question is Sami Zayn. I mean, is he on his own now? It looks like he's on his own again. And I don't know if he's going to be part of the new bloodline. I told you last week, and I keep hearing these rumors that some of the other cousins, they got about 3 of them that are in, one's in Japan, one's doing something with MLW, and another one is somewhere else. You got so many wrestling companies now, Smolkin Jim, you don't know who's who and who's going where. But anyway, as I mentioned, you got all them companies out there, and they're wrestling right now in those companies and in the independent circuits. And I hear they're coming to the WWE, and Roman's going to have them in his bloodline, these cousins. Because you don't even know what the Usos are going to do yet. You know what I mean? Everything is up in the air with this bloodline thing, Smoking Jim, and I believe that to be the case, because right now we're not seeing anything as far as what Roman's going to do, other than he's going to be in the Royal Rumble match. Will he win it? There's going to be a lot of guys in it: CM Punk, John Cena, Logan Paul. And that's coming up February 1st, the Royal Rumble. Also, Saturday night's main event's coming up this Saturday. You got Gunther versus Jey Uso. I hope Jey can beat him this time. I don't think he will, but let's see if Jey can beat him. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. I agree with Braun. Sheamus is old, and I think it's time for him to hang it up. But he's got a lot of injuries. He was supposed to get into acting, and he decided not to, and decided to stay with the WWE. Maybe he makes more money with the WWE. I don't know. I don't know his financial situation. Everybody has a different one. So, wow. All right, Smoking Jim, we're going to have to do something different here with Dan Polinsky. I'm going to have to get him on the phone. Okay. So we're going to have to get him on the phone here. Let me see what I can work with here. So. Oh, okay. He's giving me another email to send his invite to. All right, we're on a huddle. I apologize. We're debuting tonight on the Huddle Sports Network, having some issues with some emails, trying to get invites out to everybody, and it's becoming a serious problem here, and I don't know why, but it is. I punched up the one. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try that one. He gave me a different email here, so sorry about the inconvenience, guys and gals out there listening today. We have a lot listening today. Wrestling. Okay. Okay. All righty, there we go. Sorry about the wait, guys and gals, who are tuning in today. This WrestleTalk. We're trying to get our guest on here. It says this address. is to field. Okay. I don't know what that means, but we're going to find out, I guess. Oh, okay. I see what's going on here now. Oh, my. There we go. All righty. Trying to get Dan Polinsky on here. We're working diligently here. This is about the fourth time I've tried. I had a different email I was using. He just gave me this one, so we're going to try that one, see what we get. So there we go. All right. Sorry about the inconvenience, folks. Sorry about that. Okay, there we are. All right, let's get back to we were talking about Raw and SmackDown and some of the stuff that's going on in the Bloodline. We've been talking about a lot of stuff here with the WWE right now. We talked about AEW TNA earlier as well. And also, Smokin' Jim, how about that match last night with Dakota Kai and Io Sky winning that match against the collective group there with Zoe Starks and Shayna Baszler? That was a pretty good match, I thought. And that,
Outstanding.
yeah, and Penta. How about Penta and his match again? He's just going to be, I'm telling you, he's going to be a great superstar, and I can't wait until his brother and his manager get here. They're supposedly still wrapping up their contract with AEW, I heard. So we'll see what happens with them if they get here or not.
My man, when what's my man with the cowboy hat? What's his name?
Oh, JBL, yeah. Well,
he had me cracking up, man. He says, I don't even know if that's him. He got a mask on. He said he was getting on Dom's dad because they wrestled before back in the day.
Oh, yes, they did.
He says, I don't even know. I don't know if that's even still the same guy. He got a mask on. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly.
He was funny.
He was in TNA. He kept interrupting Nick Nemitz's matches. I don't know what was the purpose of that, but he was doing that for a little while as well. So, you know.
He's always been funny to me. Man.
Oh, yeah, he has. Yes, he has. He's always been a funny guy. So, you know. But anyway, yeah, he's always been a real funny guy. And, you know, so hang on a minute. Let's see what we got here. Oh, boy. All right. Well, we're going to have to do something else here. That's what we're going to have to do. All right. Okay. Well, let's see what we can work with here. Trying to get some work done here. Trying to maneuver some things. We might have to put Dan on the phone because I don't know why I'm having so much difficulty getting him on the email here. I don't know what probably every email I put in doesn't seem to want to work or something. So I don't know what the deal is here with this. What the problem is with this, I don't know either. All right, well, I'm going to have to do something different here. All right, Smokin' Jim, let's get this done here. We're going to have to do something different here. Put them on by phone. That's the only way I can do it. All right, folks, we're going to have Dan Polinsky real soon here. I'm sorry about the delay with Dan. We're having some issues trying to get him on by email, and I don't know why. I kept sending and sending and sending. I don't know what the deal is with the email here, but Maybe I'm having issues with my Gmail and I got to do something with that. But anyway, Dan will be joining us shortly. And here we are. So, all right, here comes Dan. All right, on the phone with us, we finally got him on, Dan Polinsky. Dan, welcome to the program. Dan.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. Welcome to the program, Dan. Thanks for being on. Sorry we had to bring you on by phone. We're having some major issues here. I don't know what's going on my email. Something's going on here. So,
no problem.
You know how it is with technology. So.
No, I get it.
All right, Dan. Say hello to Smolkin Jim, and then we'll get you on here.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Hey, Dan, honored to have you on as usual, sir.
Glad to be here, man. Good to see you or hear you.
All right, Dan. Let me ask you this question first of all. Tell everybody about your event coming up March the 15th with in honor of Bruno Sammartino.
Okay, March 15th, we're going to be at the Ross Township Community Center. We're doing a large show. It's going to be almost like I don't want to say a carnival, but kind of an unusual atmosphere. We're going to actually do a pro wrestling show with some really great wrestlers from around the area and some from out of state. They're coming in. We're going to do 7 matches at this point. But in the meantime, the whole show is to honor Bruno Sammartino, who lived in Ross Township, where we're holding the show. And at the same time, we're going to also pay tribute to Studio Wrestling, which was a television show that we had on in the Pittsburgh area for years and years, that most wrestling fans that have been around for a long time remember it very well. It was someplace where all wrestling fans every Saturday night at 6 o'clock were by their television to watch this. And, of course, it was a lot of local stars, but Bruno Sammartino frequented the show, and they brought in a lot of good talent from out of town to the likes of, Georgie Animal Steel, just many, many different ones over the years. And so we're going to do this show as a tribute. It's also a fundraiser for the Pittsburgh Area Food Bank. So we're going to be collecting food and taking up collections for them. But as well, we're going to have memorabilia tables set up where people are going to be selling memorabilia. Some of the wrestlers' kids from Studio Wrestling, who really aren't kids anymore, they've been invited to come out, and a lot of them are bringing memorabilia from their parents when they were wrestlers. Example, we had a gentleman, Tony Marino, who was the Batman. And his son is going to be making the trip up here from Florida, and he is going to bring his father's clothes that he used to wrestle in, the Batman outfit, and we're going to be putting that on display with some others that some of the other children of the wrestlers are going to be bringing along. So we're going to have, we're raffling off a replica wrestling belt, just like Bruno used to wear when he was champion. So there's going to be all kind of raffles, things to do. We're also having a Q&A session early on, and the big person that's coming on board, of course, we have Stan Hansen flying in, and he is going to be signing autographed pictures. And we also have Corey Graves from WWE coming in, and maybe a couple other surprises that we just haven't unveiled just yet. But there's a lot, and if you go on our Facebook page, Pros of Wrestling, and check it out, you'll see there are all kind of neat things that are going on, and there's going to be a lot of posts going on just about every day. But the thing of Stan Hansen coming in, that's very huge. Most wrestling fans from back in the day know that Stan Hansen was the gentleman who broke Bruno Sammartino's neck in a wrestling match and almost ended his career. Those two went on. They were good friends after all of that. And Stan was just more than eager to come out and do this event since it was in honor of Bruno Sammartino. And, of course, I think most wrestling fans know Corey Graves from WWE. He will be there. And like I said, we're working on a couple other surprises as we go.
All right. Dan, do you have any events coming up before that? Coming up anytime in the next month or so at the Tesla Center or anywhere else?
Yeah, we do. We're going to be coming up. You could also check our site, and you'll see the information. We're going to be back down at the City Winery next month, and you can get the dates and times and everything off of our site. It's going to be February 8th is the actual date, but you can get the times and everything, like I said, off of our site. And that's going to be our second time in the City Winery, which is a beautiful venue right down in the Strip District. And we encourage everybody to come down and see a great show. There's a lot of really great wrestlers on there. Some people you've never seen before. So that will actually be before the tribute to Bruno show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sam Adonis. I think EC3 is going to be there. There's going to be a bunch of guys there. I heard.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. He's got a few surprises put together for that show, and the venue itself is great. You can eat dinner down there. You could inside the venue hall. They have usually set up a bar with any kind of drinks you're looking for. So you could actually buy your drinks right there in the area of the wrestling show. They have a balcony. These are kind of like the higher up end seats that you could reserve those and sit up there, and they actually come up and serve you at your seats and all that stuff. It's a really nice venue. It's a great night out. And for those of the wrestling fans that, want to get a night out just with their wife or their girlfriend, it's a great night out.
Let me ask you this question, Dan, and I sort of have to ask you this question. What happened on Tuesday night with Corey?
Well, I think really nothing. I think it's funny because seeing all the things that the wrestling fans seem to know, and it's really not true. I mean, I think that if they watch television tonight, they're more likely going to see him on there. But, wrestling fans, they all tend to feel like they have all the answers. They know all the angles and things like that. And it kind of just makes people like myself and a lot of the wrestlers, we just sit back and smile and let them, come up with their analogies about what they think is going on. And we just kind of like let it roll off our shoulders. But so really, there's nothing to report.
Okay, yeah, because there were rumors out there that Corey wasn't happy about the fact that he got bumped to NXT. And then the other rumor I heard out there, and there were some reports that he was unhappy with the WWE or something. And he had to work with somebody he didn't like working with. I heard he can't work with Booker T and Brian Saxton and stuff like that. What's your is that true, Dan, or is that just
I mean, that can't be further from the truth. But
okay?
Again, I don't even like to comment on it because I don't want to ruin people.
Right.
If they believe a certain
No, I understand. Yeah.
A lot of people still believe in Santa Claus, and I'm sure not going to say that there's no Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
I just let these people go, and it's fun because I sit back and discuss it, things like this with my sons and things like that, and it just, we just smile about it, and I just tell everybody all the time, and I know he says the same thing, both of them, is, don't believe everything you read on the internet. Because, I mean, we have people, saying that, hey, he's going to be in one of the main events at WrestleMania. And I just smile. I hear all this. But even if I did know something, I'm certainly not going to share it with the public. It's not my place to do that. I'm very good at when I hear something or I think something's going to happen, I'm not going to go out there and get in the middle of the fracas, over something like that.
Right, exactly. All right, Smolkin Jim, do you have any questions or comments for Dan?
No, I don't.
All right. Okay. Dan, let me ask you this question here. I know you wanted to honor Bruno Sammartino. What brought this event about? Is it an anniversary or something, or is it just a dedication to him?
No, we've done this one other time a few years back, and I happen to be friends with his son Daryl. And Larry Richard from KDK Radio, they were involved in the documentary that was put together about Bruno's life, and I was actually their guest whenever they did the premiere down in Pittsburgh here several years ago. So these are their friends, and I enjoy doing things with them. So we decided it was probably time to do another one, and this time attach studio wrestling to it. And we did it mainly because we wanted to do a fundraiser, and it was for the food bank. And that happened to be the group that Sammartino's had suggested that maybe if we're going to do something, we do something for the food bank. So we decided to go ahead and do it, and that's really what it all amounts to. We decided to put a really good show together because we want to make sure a lot of people show up for it. But it's like anything else, some of these wrestlers are coming, in from, across the country. But again, we want to get a good crowd there, bigger than, the normal independent wrestling crowd you see around the Pittsburgh area. So we decided to kind of bite the bullet. Let's go all out on this one. And We're also accepting food at the venue that night for the food bank. And, we just figured we'd make it a really great, memorable night of wrestling and include a lot of the fans that have never come to one of our shows. And ticket sales are really going well. And it's amazing because most people that buy tickets, when I get the printout, I look and I don't see a lot of people on there that I've ever seen buy tickets for any of our other shows. So that tells me there's a lot of people that are coming that have never been to one of our events. Maybe people from the geographical area, since it's close to the north side of the city where Channel 11 used to have the wrestling shows. We really don't know. So we just decided we're going to take a risk and we're going to jump in on this thing. And we decided to do Stan Hansen, have him come in to make it more interesting and more inviting for people. And that's why we did it. So, and Bruno, I was a huge fan. Bruno was my main person when I was a little boy, 7 years old on. Bruno could do no wrong. I used to love seeing him. It was thrilling to me as a little boy, and even growing up to this day. I tell my sons all the time, that Bruno was like something that you've never had around today. And, and they've learned all the stories. They've seen a lot of the videos and things like that. And so it was just a big fan favorite. I was a big, fan of his all these years. And I just felt like that if we're in the wrestling business doing what we do, we might as well do something worthwhile for somebody and do a fundraiser as well. So we decided to do that. And we'll probably be doing at least one fundraiser a year like this. And it may be for different groups, of course, not always a food bank.
Right, exactly. And we're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios here at Studios 808 up in the Allentown section of Pittsburgh, 724-201-0500. Also, don't forget Pensman Sports here. I want to welcome him. He says hello to myself and everyone here. Pensman is a very loyal, a loyal contributor to the show, and we're possibly going to have him come on. He has his own show on the Twitter X platform and on the South Florida Tribune website as well. So we're going to have him come on eventually. And Dan is brought to you in part by here. Let me see if I can find it here. There we go. All right, draftnation.com. Get all your draft information from draftnation.com. Call or get a hold of them on their website. They have an inbox, $9.99 a month, and they get everything you need for your draft and all the information you want. And they break it all down, the skinny to everything, to all the stats and everything else. So Dan is brought to you by draftnation.com. We're live today. It's our debut show, Dan, on the Huddle Sports Network. This is our debut show today. It's on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, and Facebook, and some other platforms as well. So I just want to let you know that as well, Dan. Dan, do you have anything else you want to add or say anything to the viewers today about anything that you have else coming up?
No, I think that we just want to encourage as many people to come out and see us in Ross Township.
Yes,
on March 15th. And right now we have second row reserved tickets that are left and general admission tickets that are left. If you want to get yourself a good close reserve seat, I would go ahead and get online. You can check our site or check eventbrite.com and get on there and search Pros of Wrestling, and you will see our event. Click on there and get your tickets now, especially if you want to have a reserve seat, because they're going quickly, and the front row seats are already sold, and they've been sold now almost 9 weeks before the event.
Wow, that's crazy.
We expect a lot of these tickets to be gone pretty quickly. But so if you're thinking about going, get your tickets now, or you could get them at the door also. But there'll be general admission primarily at the door. And the doors are going to open at 4 o'clock that day because we have so much going on with the Q&A session. We've got a lot happening, so we decided to open the doors early. Food and things like that will be served at 4 o'clock, so you can start eating.
Oh, wow.
So whatever you do at 4, bring the family, come out, eat some dinner, watch some wrestling, get some autographs, do some raffles, and have a great time.
All right. Smokin' Jim, do you have anything you want to add?
No, great job as usual, Dan.
All right. And Dan, thank you for being part of the program. Sorry we had to do this kind of butt backwards or whatever, so.
No big deal. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. So I was able to make it work like I always do. I call myself a magician, so you know.
There you go. Good for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Dan, thank you for being part of the program, and we'll be looking for Corey tonight on the NXT. So
Sounds like a plan.
all
Take
right,
care.
thanks, Dan.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, that was Dan Polinsky, who owns the Pros of Wrestling, and he also is the father of Corey Graves. But, you know, as he said, he wasn't going to get into anything here to the public about what's going on with Corey. He said Corey will be at the NXT tonight. So we're going to find out what happens tonight. Now, and, you know, it's going to be great to see him there as well. So your thoughts, Smoking Jim, on Corey Graves and what Dan had to say.
Well, I tell you what, man, he kept it above board, man. I was cracking up when he said people still believe in Santa Claus, so you let them. And that is true. The wrestling community, they know a lot about wrestling. A lot of them think they have inside information on what's going on. I'm happy to hear that Corey's still he's still with the WWE and NXT, and look forward to it. I tell you what, I think the NXT got some of the best women wrestlers on the planet. So I think that he'll enjoy calling a lot of those Tuesday night events.
Yeah, how about that match Friday night? Speaking of Bailey, how about that match on SmackDown against your Tiffy Time? How about that match?
Yeah, who she wrestled? I forget.
She wrestled Bailey.
Oh yeah.
She wrestled Bailey, and then Bailey got because now they're doing some kind of transfer portal kind of thing like they do in college football, which of course you and I both know is out of control. But anyhow, you know, so they're doing a transfer portal kind of thing.
Because they kept saying, the announcers kept saying this was a pretty, you know, you for a first title defense to have to go against Bailey was amazing. That was a war, really.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it was. It was a war. You're exactly correct.
What's going on with Roxanne? She's showing up.
She showed up because Bailey showed up last week at NXT, and they had a match or something happened. I didn't watch it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out tonight since Corey's going to be on it. You know, I'll watch it tonight. I like Corey Graves. I like his jokes and his comments.
You don't watch NXT?
I don't really. I watch it here and there. I'll catch it on you know, at a later time. I mean, I have on demand, so I can just go right on to CW on demand and catch it, or on their website or something. So
okay.
Yeah, or you know, I catch it somehow. I find a way to get it. So you know, but I really don't watch NXT very often. But I will tonight because Tuesday there's usually not a whole lot on. So I'm going to check it out tonight and see what happens. So, all right, let's talk about this Victory of Violence, which is something coming up, a wrestling event Friday, March 21st at 6:30. Doors open 7:30 bell time. It's at the Chamber Hall Gym at University of Greensburg. So there you go. Make it a weekend maybe or something like that. Check this out. It's on a Friday night, and you can liven it up Friday night, as they say. So check that out. Rise Wrestling on the 8th as well, as Dan mentioned, as I talked earlier about the WrestleRex event coming up down at the City Winery down in the Strip District there. That is a nice place. I've been there. I was there for an event with Larry Richard, and I met Ryan Shazier for the second time last August, and I was there for an event, and it was a really good event, and I really enjoyed it. And it is a nice place down there, very nice venue. But also on February 8th, if you live out in the Uniontown area, or if you want to head that way, and check out Rise Wrestling, AJ Alexander versus the Lamar for the Rise Ascension Championship match for the champion there as well. And also don't forget about Erie Wrestling. January the 18th, which just passed. February 1st is their next match, and then the February 22nd and March 15th as well at the Saga Club on right at 3828 Washington Avenue in Erie. Check them out as well for some great independent wrestling. I know it's snowing up there, but I'm sure you can get around a little bit up there and check out the Saga Club and check out this Erie Championship Wrestling. All right, Smolkin Jim, final thoughts before we wrap things up. Would you have anything you want to talk about or add before we wrap it up?
Oh man, great, outstanding wrestling show, man. Even with the technical glitches, which is going to happen anywhere, even on Netflix. Um, it was still a great show, a lot of great information, man, and I'm looking forward to a great 2025 with the wrestling show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to have a great 2025 for all RW Media Production shows. Also, our Sports Corner radio show is climbing, and it's climbing big time. We got some, I tell you what, we've been getting a lot of great accolades about the show. I'm out on the street. People say, Ralph, great. It's good to see the radio show back on the air, and say hello to Smolkin Jim and that kind of thing. So I've been getting that everywhere I go. So, it's a great thing. And, so also don't forget Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Ralph Williams Show. It's part of the triple header of Ralph on Saturday, every Saturday, 8 to 9 a.m. I'll be solo this week. Every fourth Saturday of the month, I'm solo. And you get my opinion on everything. I don't have any guest on. The third Saturday of the month, I have Tony Moreno. And the first two Saturdays of the month. Or if there's a fifth Saturday, I will have a guest on as well. But every fourth Saturday of the month, I am solo this week. What do you hear? What I got to talk about? Lots of things to talk about. The city of Pittsburgh. And don't forget, we're still doing our O'Connor Gainey poll. Who do you want for mayor? And I want your comments, and I've been getting a lot of them. If Jesus was to run as a Republican in the city of Pittsburgh for mayor, would you vote for Jesus? And I did get a couple emails of people that said, yes, they would vote for Jesus if Jesus ran as a Republican. And some of them were saying they were Democrats. I'm getting these emails, the Republicans are no good, and I would never even vote for Jesus if he was a Republican, which that's why the city of Pittsburgh is the city of Pittsburgh right now. So, I mean, when you have that kind of backwards thinking. All right, don't forget, next week we'll be here for the Sports Corner show, and then right afterwards from 4 to 5, and then 5 to 6 next Tuesday, another edition of Wrestletalk. We'll have some guests or something lined up for us there. And then also, don't forget, as part of the triple header, Ralph Williams, every Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., the Sports Corner radio show with me, Ralph Williams, Smolkin Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. And don't worry, we don't forget about Smolkin Jim on the show. So there you go. All right. And then the External Bum Show at 9 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and on the Twitter X, and the Huddle Sports Network. And our debut show tonight, and I want to thank everyone from the Huddle Sports Network. I want to thank management for letting us put our shows here and picking us up on the Huddle Sports Network. I also want to congratulate Bubba Brewer. Bubba is going to be putting his shows on the Huddle Sports Network now. So for Smolkin Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. Until next week, have yourself a great week, and we will talk to you next week here on Wrestle Talk. Please be safe.